Welcome to another episode of Recommend Daily Dose. I am your co-host, Dr. Suraj Saggar. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Dr. Clenton Coleman.
Today, apparently.
You are esteemed. You are extremely esteemed. Very well-known nephrologist. I'm proud to do the show with you.
Thank you. But we want to let our listeners know that this is not just a regular show.
So we're not coming to you from Teaneck, New Jersey. No?
So there's only, I think, 3 people that we would travel to meet. One is Barack, the other one is Oprah, and then probably our next guest
is...
You're listening to Recommended Daily Dose with Drs. Clenton Coleman and Suraj Saggar, the not-so-average health show with a unique spin on what's making headlines in healthcare.
The lovely Dari Alexander, best-selling author, co-anchor of New York City's Fox News at 5 and 10 with Steve Lacy. We are truly honored and really excited to have you on the show today. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I'm really impressed.
Wow. We're actually internationally known. We have a listener in Africa?
We have one in Africa.
And one in India.
And we have 2 in India who
That's not related to you.
Actually, they're
both.
They're both. I think it's probably my cousin, but I'm not sure.
And I wouldn't know my relation to the never mind.
Well, that's impressive either way.
But you see, we are getting out there a little bit, so we're just running our wings.
So let's just get off the bat. I want to ask you the
very
most serious, most important question. So you're Emmy Award-winning co-anchor in the probably #1 news market in the country. So you talk a lot about health and talk to a lot of health professionals. There's only one correct answer to this, so there's no pressure. Who do you think is your favorite
I knew you were going to ask this question.
medical
Take your time with
contributor?
Oh my goodness.
There's only one answer, and the rest of this interview is predicated on your answer.
Well, you really had to just throw out the heavy one first.
You can tell me after.
I'm just letting you know I've been doing it longer.
Oh yeah, you have been doing it longer. You're right. Actually, you know what? I will let you in on a little secret. How about this?
All right.
So we have this thing where we like to kind of have the rotation of doctors, people that we know.
Yes.
Because it's fun and easy, and you obviously establish a rapport with people. So every once in a while they'll throw in somebody new, which is nerve-wracking for the new person. It's a little bit nerve-wracking for us. Because 5 o'clock is just a crazy newscast, because it's the first newscast out of the evening. Everything that's happened between noon and 5 o'clock you're responsible for, and it seems like everything happens at rush hour, between 4 and 5. So it's insane. So to be able to have people that you know and you can count on is a great thing, because then you don't really have to babysit them.
Right.
So we kind of have our people who we consider to be easy listening people, and I will say that the 2 of you are that. Aww. Not that you're not like you're dentist chair music or light FM type people, but
Z100.
Right. I mean, yeah. Well, you're very Z100. I mean, I'm very surprised about some of his things that he liked growing up, and he and my co-anchor.
Steve, we have a connection with some music.
That's their rebellious days, which is so shocking that you're rebellious.
The Clinton's a little bit more clean cut, and you like to listen to pop music.
Well, we haven't really been able to. We haven't broken you open yet. So now that I know that I can do this, we're going to do this.
Type of.
I think you're like Taylor Swift kind of.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my goodness! Well, she was on Saturday Night Live.
That was hilarious. You see the
I missed
shtick?
it. I have to see it.
I fell asleep. I'm a little.
But so you're in the easy listening club. It's very nice.
Okay, that's good to know.
We know we can ask you anything.
Oh, we appreciate
Sometimes we
that.
don't like to make people nervous and just kind of speak off the cuff. Even though Steve and I, we do get questions, but we never follow them ever for anything, political interviews or anything, because we feel like we're thinking human beings.
Right.
So we're supposed to. If we're not interested in this, then we shouldn't be doing it. But there are some people that we just won't go off of because
off of a script. You mean almost
because we are more concerned about them.
That's interesting.
But so we're happy to know that we can just kind of throw it out to you. And there are a lot of questions that I ask you in particular. You notice during the breaks or when we're not, on camera.
Hey Doc, is this for real?
Yeah,
or for
I do
what?
it all
I love
the
it.
time.
I know it's great.
I do. I'm like, come on, would you give that to your kid? As we're doing a thing.
Right.
So I'm like, are you selling the line or is it real? And he always, I have to say, it's real.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you're passionate about something, like we all are, so I think I've told you before, and we've talked about in our show many times, passionate about vaccinations, which I know is a hot button topic. Antimicrobial resistance, all the things with my specialty. Clinton with whatever it is he's passionate about.
Nutrition, exercise,
Everything,
prevention.
everything. Absolutely.
The pretty boy stuff.
All the pretty boy stuff.
Because
that's
we're all opinionated.
Also furniture shopping. I don't know if you know he bought a house recently. And,
Oh wow!
so did you.
Both of you.
We did.
Well, he would tell me about the decorating thing. I'm
Well,
not going to
so-
say anything about him, being dragged around to stores with his wife.
Right.
Like I'm
But
not
do-
going to say anything, because
You know, actually, I was in the kitchen
you out of the
yesterday.
house, but
And I called him to just discuss kind of prep for today, and my wife overheard a conversation. I think it went from talking about you, I don't know how this happened, to talking about furniture.
shopping.
And then my wife walked by, she's like, "Are you two talking about furniture shopping?" And we said, "Man, what happened to our masculinity?" So I don't know what happened, but
Mine's
I don't mind.
mine is still intact.
that
You're
could
still
be
intact?
that could be a topic because I
Yeah.
think a lot
That
of
could
men
be
are
a health
wondering
topic.
about that these
Right.
days. Our floor directors trade recipes, and they're all guys, and they talk about recipes.
Well, I think it's
all the
great to
time.
have varied interests. It's okay.
Well, speaking of recipes, we wanted to
Yeah,
let our,
right?
our
Good segue.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, it is
Was I
good.
helping you out there?
So our listeners know you as a journalist, an anchor. Can you tell us about what brought you to where you are? And we know you went to culinary school, right?
Yes.
That's some people wouldn't know that.
I don't think a lot of people did. I don't think you
That's
didn't
amazing.
start off in news. Is that right?
No,
what
I
was-
didn't.
What was your
and
story?
I didn't start off in news. I was always a news junkie.
Mm.
I always was interested in it. My parents are,
Who was your
news
favorite
junkie.
reporter growing up?
Oh, that's a really, really good question.
see.
Okay, so I loved a man who's no longer with us. His name is Ed Bradley.
Okay.
Oh, I remember Ed Bradley, sure.
Remember Ed Bradley?
Yes,
and
I
he
do.
loved jazz, and he was just really fantastic. Let's see, I loved Peter Jennings.
Yes, also no longer with us, but
Fabulous.
voice of the
those
80s.
really, the old school people that
Yes.
you could really count on. I love Andrea Mitchell, who's obviously still around. I have to say that the news business is very different these days than it was when I was growing up and watching people. And growing up, it was like those people were not part of the news. It was their, it was their objective to give you the news,
Right.
as opposed to being part of the
Right.
news. That's kind of all changed
Right.
now.
Now it's
very
more
much-
opinion-based
Well, it's
instead of
very
facts.
opinion-based, but it's also there's like a whole celebrity component
Right.
with it. And
Right.
so, I've had to kind of get used to that. It's not really my, it wouldn't be my first inclination out of the gate. But I guess it's fine, people getting to know you. So those are the people that I watched growing up, and I was a news junkie, and I really enjoyed it. I also was a big New York Times reader and Wall Street Journal and all of that. But I love to cook, and I always loved to cook. And so when I got out of school, and this is sort of a little wild roundabout, I actually thought I was going to go to law school because my brother went to law school, my parents. And so I was taking the courses, like the LSAT courses, this, that, and the other thing, and I was just kind of really disenchanted with it. And I actually was a paralegal. And I decided to take a class at night, a cooking class at night, just for the heck of it, because I love to cook, and it was like French techniques. And I was just in love, in love, and it was just really fun, and I found myself thinking about that more than I was thinking about anything else. But in the meantime, because we would deal with reporters and different things like that, I thought what reporters did was kind of cool, because they were kind of all around town, and they had different stories
Right.
and
Right.
different assignments, and they weren't kind of chained to a desk. So that was sort of in my mind, but I still really liked the cooking. So I decided to go to cooking school.
Wow.
And went for a little bit in Paris, and was really happy and loved it. But I still had that kind of yearning for something like academic and a little
Right.
bit intellectual, and the whole cooking thing. And I just had some little concerns about, I wasn't really that into cuisine in terms of heavy, like I couldn't really think about opening up a rabbit and cooking it
Right.
and all these kinds of things.
Which is amazing. French food is very intricate, right? And
It is
not-
very intricate. It's really intricate. It's
yeah.
fabulous. I love it. I love French food. I still love France. I still love Paris. I mean, it's a thing that's very deep in my heart.
Right.
But I thought about, maybe I can always have this. Always love it, always do it, but maybe I should just kind of pursue. I was a politics major,
Right.
And maybe I should just continue to pursue that, because it's very much my interest, and I also very much like to write. So I came back and I enrolled in a journalism program at NYU, and then just kind of like took an internship with CBS News, it was kind of that from there. But always loved to cook, always had, really decked out kitchens wherever I lived, and still was very much a passion. And I still watch cooking shows, and I still collect cookbooks, and that's kind of like very much a piece of me. And I think, everybody kind of understands that you can have a lot of different passions, and
Right.
so it's kind of like my outlet. Like literally, particularly in the wintertime, on the weekends, I will just throw down in the kitchen. I mean, sometimes I won't even go out on the weekends, and just
I love
kind
that
of like
throw
have
down.
this thing.
Just
throw down in the kitchen.
So wintertime, why? Like comfort food?
Comfort food.
Oh,
And I love to do like Sunday roasts. That's a big
You
thing.
know the expression, put your foot in it?
Yes.
Oh, so you don't know that.
I don't know
obviously.
it.
Yeah, see.
Oh, you have that connection?
It's,
I
it's,
see.
Yeah, it's
it's
like-
a peep thing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I get around.
Melanin,
Just so
yeah.
you know.
Yes, exactly.
But it's like when you cook something really well,
Right.
and it tastes really good, you put your foot in it.
put your
Not
foot.
literally put your foot in it, but
No, not
Figuratively,
literally.
is that right?
Right.
It's like very not your stereotypical New York story, because most people have nice places, whatever it might be. The kitchens are tiny and they never use them, right? Because it's too easy to order out. So that's great that you're actually using.
Well,
the
so
kitchen.
that's interesting that you would say that, because even when I was single,
Sure.
I had a throw down kitchen.
still-
So
wow.
when I look at a place, it's
That's
I,
the-
that's yeah,
that makes
That's
or
it,
breaks
yeah.
it.
thing.
Yeah.
It's all about the kitchen.
not the roof
and so
deck,
it doesn't have to even start at. It doesn't have to start with a fabulous kitchen. It's what it can become.
Okay, right.
So spatially and all of that. But when I was single, I always had a good kitchen. Really, even great kitchens, even sometimes that I didn't even use. I can remember a couple of apartments I've had that weren't really great, but when you're a reporter, you're really just not even. I mean, it's just insane the way you're working, especially when you're coming up, and you're young. But
When
I
you
mean,
were coming up, you mentioned, where were you coming up? Where do you have to go?
oh, I mean, coming up in the business.
In the business,
oh,
but
is
yeah,
it-
but you didn't start in New York, obviously. You must
Oh,
have-
heck no.
Small markets,
Oh, yeah,
or-
right, exactly. Okay, so yeah, I'll go through that with you. So I was a field producer at CBS News. I started out as an intern. I worked on the national desk, and then I was a field producer. And then at that point, in those days, there were News 12s, but there weren't as many of them, and there was New York 1. But there was no such thing as, hi, I graduated, I'm ready.
Right.
This is my graduate school going on TV. It's some really small kind of cable thing. So you had to basically be a roadie, like a band.
Is that
And-
right? Yeah, wow.
Oh yeah, no, you become a roadie.
The grind, yeah.
Yeah, you do. That's the traditional way that most people did it. You kind of earned your stripes. And so you send out tapes, I sent out stuff, and I wound up, my first job on air was in West Virginia.
I can't see you in West Virginia.
Yeah, well, I was.
Wow.
I was in West Virginia, and I was a one-man band, which means that you
recorded-
shoot,
yeah, you produced
you
it.
edit, it's all yours. I would get in a car, get lost. I mean, it was insane. It was completely insane. And then you somehow make it back to the station, put your piece together,
Right.
and it airs. Yeah, that was really insane. And so I did have a good kitchen then, but I would just wind up going to Walmart and get roast chickens all the time because there was just no
They're
way.
surprisingly good, actually.
Does
They are
Walmart make a good roast
surprisingly
chicken?
good.
Is that
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. They do.
We
Lemon
haven't talked about it
pepper,
later, but I don't
Italian
know anymore. You have to help me out because I've given up all meat except fish now.
That's really nice. I would actually like. I
have
would
my own
like to do
personal
that, and
reasons,
I've
but-
actually tried to do it, but I have iron issues.
Okay, right.
So my doctor tells me, which maybe you guys could weigh on it, because I really would like to become a vegan, to be honest with you.
Well, vegan
You
stuff, I
can,
can't give
but
up
then,
cheese.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I like pizza too much. See, that's.
Oh,
yeah.
see, I like cheese, but I could probably give it up. But I really, really would like to become
Yeah,
a
but
vegan.
the vegan problem is it's a vitamin, nutrition
Every time I
thing that
do
you have
it,
to replace.
You
every
have to-
time
right.
I
And
do it,
iron is difficult to replace.
I have an eye,
yeah.
and that's my thing. I'm always borderline anemic.
Right.
Yes.
And I have low blood pressure. And I did at the beginning of the summer do this, and I was like, I'm only going to do fish. And I had blood work done, and it was once again literally telling
Iron
me that I
levels
have to
are
put
Yeah.
put red meat into my life.
Yeah,
once
B12
a week.
as well,
Isn't
yeah.
that interesting? And I can't supplement it.
With iron?
Yeah.
You
You
No,
can,
but
but
I-
it's not easy to take. Also,
And it's poorly absorbed.
Right.
Most
I'm
people get
just
constipation.
really terrible. I would love to, but and that's a whole nother.
So we'll have a talk about that off
But
air
But no,
next
but
time.
it is, but
Yeah.
it's completely it's relatable though, honestly, from a cooking perspective.
Right.
But so West Virginia, then I moved to Iowa.
Oh, Iowa.
I lived in Iowa.
Tornadoes can get you. Hopefully.
Well,
Okay, more
flooding,
rural and rural.
a lot of flooding, because I lived in Davenport, which is right on the Mississippi River.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so that was crazy. My tornado experience happened after I was in Iowa. I moved to Ohio. to Columbus, Ohio. And then from Columbus, Ohio, I moved to Dallas. And that
Oh, so getting bigger and bigger.
crazy tornado stuff.
Oh, Dallas
That
too.
was, yes, tornadoes, yes.
Plus, it's the home of the Cowboys.
Extreme weather,
And,
right, home
as
of
a
the
Washington
Cowboys.
Redskins
I actually
fan,
lived
it's
right
hard.
near the stadium. So that was really interesting.
Were you a
And,
Dallas Cowboys fan?
It's interesting you'd say that. My father has been a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan. So
Oh,
to
wow,
be 5
yeah.
minutes from the stadium was kind of insane.
Wow.
And mess up your whole life in terms of traffic. And then so from Dallas I came to New York.
Right.
Yes.
Back home.
Back home.
Yeah.
Back home. Fabulous kitchen in Dallas.
Oh.
As well, but yeah. So that was my roadie experience, and that's what you kind of do. So you are very, very busy, and I didn't really get to cook at the level I did. But when I came back to New York, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to pursue this even more, and so I do. And now that my life is a little bit more settled, in perspective as much as it can be, I do definitely do the big meals. And I really try to do it on Sunday because, believe it or not, in this life that we all lead, we only really have an opportunity to have dinner together one day a week, I'd say.
Yeah.
So you have and 2 kids at home.
Right, I'm married with 2 kids, so my kids, my Sunday, my son's got basketball,
Yeah.
like all
Everyone's
that
got different
stuff.
schedules,
We're
right.
all running in different directions. So I try to put my foot down on Sunday nights. And even though there's still, the homework and all that stuff, I'm like, that's it.
That's
and
time, yeah.
I found that there's a little trick in this, is that that's why I usually do a roast or something kind of elaborate, because you start cooking early and then the house smells good.
So they all get in the mood to eat and just.
And then
yeah.
it's like, yes, we can hardly wait to eat.
That's important because from a medical point of view, there's numerous studies showing that families that eat together, kids that eat with their parents several times a week, are happier, they're better adjusted. So it's actually very good for family harmony. But it's hard though, right? I mean, it is hard.
It's impossible. I mean,
Yeah.
I do every once in a while, if I can, I will try to sneak home on a dinner break. I don't really eat with them, but I will be there present when they're eating, and and maybe I'll sit down and snack for a
Right.
little bit, like literally drop in, drop out. How was your day?
So
kind
between
of
5
thing.
and 10
or I'll
you-
FaceTime with them, right?
between
Well,
5, you have some
6
time?
between, right? Exactly.
So after 6
so
is
say
done,
like
yeah.
I'll from like 6:30 to I'll appear at 6:30, and leave at about 7:45ish or so. But
back,
it's even
yeah.
tough now because my son is playing soccer, and so he's not hitting the house until like after 7 o'clock.
So he's not even home anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not even home. My daughter is doing her things too. So it's really hard. So I try to make Sunday that day where we literally sit down and we talk about stuff.
And no devices
And
at the
we-
table?
Oh, absolutely not.
Good.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on during the week when I'm not there, but definitely no devices at the table when we're present. And I make them talk. And they also talk about food. And my kids are foodies, by the way.
That's good.
They're foodies.
That's awesome, yeah.
That's a big thing, too. Speaking of the food thing, we've always introduced them to stuff. Like my kids are oyster freaks and rack a lamb and all this.
Right.
I mean, I'm like,
So they have exquisite or sophisticated taste even at a
yeah, they
young
do.
age.
But I
right?
mean, that's not to say that they won't push away a plate of chicken fingers and French fries.
Sure, yeah,
But
right.
I really try to diversify it, and then I say to them, I don't know how you're going to pay for all these habits, so you better study.
It's great. I've
I
said
don't
the
know how
same
you're gonna
thing
pay
to
for
my
your rack of
son
lamb. I
as
don't know
well.
how you're going to do it. Australian rack of lamb. I don't know how you're going to do it.
Walmart has rack of lamb now.
Oh, they do?
I think so.
My
It's
son.
a grass fed.
I don't know.
Is it
Probably.
grass-fed? No, my son will always, choose like that. I think I'll just have the crab cakes and
my
the lobster.
goodness.
I'm like,
Right,
is that all you're gonna have?
easy?
Is that all you're gonna have?
Oh, I
you know?
love that. Thank you so
father.
much
But-
for making me feel better.
So I think it's great to have that I should say sophisticated, a little mature palate. I think also having a background from India, he eats a lot of ethnic food too, so I think it's
Yeah.
helpful. But it can be expensive, so I think I'll have to use your bit about you want to keep eating like this, you better go to school,
I do
study
it all
hard,
the time.
work hard.
I'm
yeah.
like, he's like, surf and turf. I'm like, are you crazy? I'll tell you a
Surf
really
and turf.
quick funny story.
Yeah.
When my son was in 3rd grade, one of his friends had a sleepover. And this is a family, they live in Manhattan, but they're originally from Michigan. And so my son sleeps over, and the mom's like, okay, we're going to make microwave popcorn. And my son's like, do you have any truffle oil? We drizzle truffle oil on
Wow.
it.
That is funny.
3rd grade.
3rd grade.
But
Because I did the same, but this is the cooking thing.
Right.
Like, to me, Saturday nights we're watching a Disney movie, and I'll drizzle a little truffle oil and maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it. And now my
Wow.
son
That's
thinks that's the
interesting
way
because-
everybody eats.
Because growing
popcorn.
up, I don't remember eating things like that, like sushi and trying new things.
Things were
As a
simpler back
child,
then, you
it's-
think?
it's-
Simpler childhood?
Yeah, chicken tenders, mac and cheese, and pizza was our meal. But our kids are now exposed to all kinds of different foods, which I think is good for them, because mostly it's healthier food and less processed foods, which leads me to the next
You
question.
were very good at these transitions, by the way.
Oh yeah, you should be a news anchor.
Segue
I tell you,
king.
yeah.
There you go.
Well, I told the producer that we should just hijack the 5 o'clock news and,
Oh well,
and
listen,
interview
we can do.
you and Steve.
I told you guys.
We
you
do a
should
whole
do
hour
one.
special.
No, but you should. Well, we could do a special actually that lives outside of it.
Oh,
we
well,
could do a special that lives outside.
Stay
of
tuned.
it.
Stay
Sounds
tuned.
good.
No, stay tuned. Really,
That
and you
sounds
both
great.
can come on set and do a segment if you
I
want.
just want to
We
hang
can-
out. And just
yeah, that would be fun. But
I like to work the camera,
But I like
actually.
a libation or two.
libation. We bring
Or
libation.
3.
Is that
Three.
okay
Even
for you
3.
guys?
That would be hilarious.
I also makes you more relaxed. But so
But
since my colleague here had such a great segue, tell us.
But as a journalist and
Yeah.
someone who's gone to culinary school, you have like this unique perspective on healthy foods, and so I want to talk about your book,
Yeah.
The Quick and Clean Diet.
Yeah.
Right. So, what made you want to write a book?
Right.
Because we commonly talk about health and nutrition and the dietary
You
fads.
guys should do a book.
We should do a book.
You should.
We're working on a screenplay, right, for a movie.
Oh, that's
a comedy.
great.
I'm joking,
Alright.
but one day, one day,
I have
a
some
medical
great
comedy.
ideas. I want to
America
get in on that with you.
Either Coming to America with a medical, part 2,
Yeah.
or another version of Friday.
Eddie
which is our
Murphy
2
has a new
favorite
movie
movies.
out, by the way, but that's a whole other story.
But what made you want to write a
Yeah.
book?
So I always collected cookbooks.
Okay.
Like I think I love books first of all,
Right.
in general, like all kinds of books.
So it's like a
I
natural,
Like books. I
thing.
love library. Yeah,
I
love
second that, by
books.
the way. Love books. Yeah.
I love books, and I love to hold a book.
Not the
So I-
e-books, right?
No, and I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
we have like 3 Kindles in the house. My husband swears by the Kindle, but none of us, the rest of the house, I need to hold a book,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
makes me very happy that it's kind of coming back. There are a lot of people that feel that way about that. So, I
Right.
mean, I love a cookbook, really good photography. I mean,
Right.
anything. I mean, a design book. I mean, it's all beautiful to me. But so I collected one, and when I always kind of thought I was going to do that. I actually even thought about doing a cooking show. It's just it's a lot,
Right.
with kids and trying to be an accountable parent.
Sure.
There's parenting and there's accountable parenting.
Right.
So that's a whole nother conversation. But so I kind of knew that I was going to do that, and at the time when I thought about doing it, I was just going to do sort of like more of a family kind of cooking book.
Okay.
But my editors thought that being a working mom and being on television, a lot of pressure, and there's the whole looks thing and all of that, and women trying to lose weight after
Right.
having a baby and not being nuts about it and all
Right.
of that is kind of relevant. And I have always liked clean eating. I mean, this
Right.
book came out way before people were even talking about
true,
clean
yeah.
eating. And so that's sort of the way, simple ingredients. If you have good stuff,
Right.
you don't really need to put a lot of stuff
Right.
on it. And so I just thought, you know what, I can do this because I can completely relate to it.
Right.
And I just kind of wanted to get my message out there, and I like to write.
Why do you think it's so, like I struggle with this talking to patients, why do you think it's so hard for people to implement that in their lives? Like it makes more sense to eat things that aren't made in a factory and things that are grown.
Yeah, the issue is does it take longer?
I think that's
most people
completely
say, right?
neurological, to be honest with
You
you.
think so?
I mean,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, they have psychologists that study what, brain waves and
Right.
what peaks your brain.
Right.
And we know
Sugar and
that,
salt, too.
of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
and processed foods. And now we're talking about ultra processed. I mean, these are all really drugs. They taste good and they keep them cheap.
And almost like
I mean,
a
it's not by
dopamine effect.
accident. It is
Yes,
a dopamine
yeah.
effect,
You're
and the
finding these
drive-through.
major
And then
companies,
people are
yeah.
economically challenged.
Right.
So everything that tastes good is $1.
Isn't that? I think I know. I'm sure it's been talked about before, but isn't it amazing that to eat well and healthy costs money?
It's become a privilege.
Right, it's become a
wrong.
privilege, right? And then if you
Yeah.
look at
Wrong.
lower socioeconomic neighborhoods, you'll see a plethora of fast food restaurants, but very rarely find a fresh,
That's right.
a Whole Foods or
That's
a fruit store or whatever. I mean, that's a big problem, right?
It's become politicized.
Hmm.
It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. One that maybe we should go and testify in front of Congress.
I think so. I'm
Maybe
ready.
Well, we do with-
seriously, it's a problem.
But certainly we deal with this as physicians talking to patients. Because I mean, we both had this conversation before, patients telling us, look, doc, it's expensive to eat healthy. I have 3 kids, I work 2 jobs. It's easy for me to go to whatever fast food restaurant du jour and order Happy Meals for all the kids and pay $15 and feed my whole family.
Well, I'm
And
working
this is
too long and
Right.
long hours.
Right,
and I
and that's
can't
the
this
other
is a
thing.
problem.
It's the quick
food
get
and-
together. Okay,
yeah,
so here's what I would say
Right.
in terms of that, like literally practical information.
Sure.
Because I was in a Target a couple weekends ago with my kids, one in the city. They're like branching out like wild in the city. And they had a grocery food aisle. So a lot of stuff is pre-cut.
Right.
So, you could get pre-cut stuff. vegetables that are already chopped up.
Right.
They have stuff that's already pre-portioned. And if you just keep it really clean, like you get some sort of a protein and the vegetables, and you have it. It's also a reorientation in terms of discovering foods that you like, that you enjoy. It's not going to have the crack effect like Cheetos or something like that. It's just not going to. Yeah. But you have to kind of come to an understanding with that, but figure out things that you like, and understand that it's not going to have that same effect.
What about, you said pre-cut, slightly prepared. What about the delivery services at home, where they come in and things are already pre-measured and pre-cut, et cetera?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of that. I think it's great if you can afford it. That's a very 1%er kind of a solution.
No, it's true.
Honestly,
but in the suburbs, you do see that quite a bit.
And it's great. If you can do it in the suburbs, it's amazing. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
I don't do it like that because I have to go to the butcher or the fishmonger. I mean, that's whole part of my ritual thing. I like to go to the market. Right? Yeah, sure. Yes, and literally have to smell stuff.
They always say if you can see your food where it's grown, actually physically see it.
For me, that's just, that's
if you can pronounce the ingredients.
Oh, you're hilarious.
It's true.
So you're saying color number 97 is... dexahydrine.
Well, that's the other thing, though. You should look for stuff that has almost the least amount of ingredients.
Right.
There's a place to start.
Yeah.
If you're going to eat ice cream, eat really good ice cream.
Just milk, sugar, cream,
exactly.
and
cream
fruits.
and eggs or whatever.
You don't need artificial coloring.
No, you don't need the dyed extra stuff that you
the cookie dough added, right? You're always eating cookie dough ice cream. I don't know why.
I don't like cookie dough. I don't understand why people like cookie dough.
No, I'm not into that either. Ugh. But if you get cookie dough with integrity, it could be okay.
Well, what I do is simple things like, my kids like drinks and stuff, so we don't do the high fructose corn syrup stuff.
Do you do the flavored seltzers?
We do flavored seltzers, what they like. But I think part of it is educating patients on what their options are. And I think people, if given the right option, will probably make the right choice.
I think you just can't take the fun out of food.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
You have to reorient.
Right.
You have to understand. You have to have a hard conversation with them that, listen, it's not going to have the effect of a Frito. Right. It's just not going to taste like Coke.
Yeah.
But if you really, really care, can we just move you over to this direction a little bit? Slowly segue. And I think that fruits and some of these kind of fancy pants like acai, whatever, they taste as good as ice cream. I mean, there's a sugar content in them, but the sugar is maybe not as bad as just ultra processed.
So don't turn it all the way off.
No. I mean, maple syrup it.
Sure.
If you have,
instead of just being
instead of white sugar.
Sure.
Move that way. Sugar in the raw. It is a process, honestly, and it's the same thing with the kids. I mean, my daughter loves this green juice that is made with watermelon juice, and it's fantastic. And she loves that as opposed to going to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is we're hyper focused on the pleasure of food. We don't really focus on the nutritional value of it.
Because food is centered around holidays and what makes us happy, and it's a reward.
So we'll eat.
There's the emotional tie-in, of course.
Yeah, we'll eat something that kills us, but we won't eat something that'll keep us healthy longer because it tastes different.
But in the medical world, we talk a lot about. No one's saying in the holidays to just starve yourself, But there's just, but like you said, just move the meter just slightly to the left. Like my kid. The other day said, Dad, I'm going to make this cheesecake. It was like a 3-ingredient cheesecake. And he made it. And, there was no crust, but it was still very tasty.
Yeah.
It's sweet, probably has a bit of sugar in it, but it was only 3 ingredients. So, and I don't remember what they are. But the idea was that he's still having fun. He made it. We enjoyed it as a family. And it's still a dessert, but it's probably healthier, way healthier than something you would buy at a store that's prepackaged, et cetera.
100%.
And we still had the enjoyment of making it with my wife or with and all sitting around and then.
And here's another thing I would say to you. That's it. Getting them involved in the process. My kids cook all the time. They love to do that. But the other thing is I'm really big on food presentation. Like when I've got the candles out, the whole thing going.
Oh wow!
The jazz, the Sonos, the whole thing. And so
we're big Sonos fans.
You
I can tell you, he came over to my house to help me install.
So this
Sonos.
guy, oh my goodness! Let me tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
We're gonna interrupt here for a second.
Oh no, I love hearing about you.
He calls the Geek Squad to help him put up a TV.
You're not serious.
He's serious.
I am. So he came over.
I didn't even know anybody that really exists.
Exactly.
That
exists. Look, I may be geeky, but I don't know nothing about installation.
I was like,
TVs.
seriously, I can come. I'll get my tools and can hang it up. And he just calls the Geek Squad.
But he came. He was very upset with me that I called, and then they also put my Sonos together in the house.
Oh, privilege.
What about YouTube?
I mean, I'm busy taking care of patients, really.
Oh, okay.
That's what I told my
Meanwhile, I'm
wife.
changing the faucet in my bath.
You actually changed some light bulbs in my house too. Remember you came?
Did I?
Wow.
The
So we got
chandelier,
Bob
yes.
the Builder over
Bob
here.
the Builder.
Yeah, I'm more the brains. He's more the brawn. That's how it's one of those type of things.
Ah.
Boy,
Yeah.
that quieted you down for
Brains
a
and
second.
brawn.
Yeah.
No, that's really great. I had no idea that he was a handyman.
Very handy. He's a man of multiple
I
talents.
do a lot of things myself.
That's fantastic.
No, it's very good.
No,
But,
you really do. You have to be.
but I like the idea of presentation.
No,
'cause-
it's really, I mean, honestly, on a
Yeah.
plate, like the way it looks, I try to honor all that. I also, here's really quickly, because a lot of people have trouble with their kids and vegetables. I don't have that issue because I've been introducing them to a million things for a long time. Lots of options. I just put out like 3 or 4 different kinds of sides.
So they
because
don't
I'm
feel like
you
you're
know,
forcing them to take just one. They'll say, okay, I have a
exactly.
choice.
Well,
Right.
because one of them doesn't like spinach, the other one doesn't eat
Right.
broccoli. So I put it all out there, and then I will sneak something else in. My son loves sautéed leeks. He loves
very tasty. mushrooms.
She won't go near them.
Right.
She loves kale.
I think it's great. I mean,
The other thing
and like I said, introducing early is a key thing.
introducing
I think.
early,
Right.
but they still change, and then they get influenced by their friends and all of that stuff. The other thing I want to say is that
Yeah.
during the holidays, you shouldn't cut back. You should have it exactly the way that you are used to having it.
Right.
Just go broke or go home, as they say.
So if you want eggnog,
No,
go for it.
yeah, I mean, this fat-free stuffing or whatever, but no.
Thanksgiving, I go all out on,
Yeah, on the
on,
day-to-day
on
is
pie. I go all out
Yeah,
on pie.
you go
apple
all
pie,
out.
yeah.
I mean,
pecan pie. There's
just have it
do
the way you like
right,
it.
Right.
Just have it with the, do it the way you have it. Because it makes you happy. Because
Right.
there is a brain trigger there. And then, you move on.
Move on. I like that.
Smart. So other question we had was we wanted some advice. So you're obviously health conscious and you're a journalist. So our struggle has been trying to get the message of prevention and being healthy out to our patients, our audience members, which we kind of struggle with because it's not like sexy, palatable type of.
Well, we do pride
information.
ourselves that we're teachers, right? Or that we do. We both enjoy educating patients, but it's not always easy. Always time crunched, and I think having some in the media here and then having physicians, that whole marriage of health and media and teaching and promoting and education is very important to us. That's kind of why we started this podcast to begin with.
Because the health information is boring.
Right.
And
So you brought this information out in a book.
But it
It's
doesn't have to
entertaining.
be. I mean,
But it doesn't have to be. We don't like it like that. But
So we
that's
try to
what
make
we
it
struggle
entertaining,
with,
but
right?
any suggestions for us, or what you think
well,
people might
okay,
want?
so what just came to my mind? Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Astronomy can be really, really dry and
Yes.
mathematical. He makes it really
Right.
fun. So why don't you guys wear
No, I'm just saying in
ties and
general,
be
like-
silly and
Yeah, we could do that.
Can you get us? We'll have to
You
get,
can
get
sing
on.
or something.
I could sing. I used to
No,
sing.
but I
You
think
know,
as a medical community, we're poor educators. We're not
I
we're
think
not
you
getting
will.
the
I mean-
information the way that it's.
Well, I should say another way.
accepted.
There's so much information coming at you. There's a lot of, as you know, we talk about on the news when we come on, misinformation,
oh heck
and
yeah.
that's a big problem because I can
It's
tell,
huge.
we can tell our patients one thing, but Dr. Google will tell another,
Right.
and then dubious websites will tell another, and patients are, the general public at large, are bombarded with information.
Well, they
And
get
how do you
information
digest
from
it?
commercials and
Oh,
the way they
right.
present it's much different than how we present it,
Right.
and you're competing with that all the time.
Well, that's why I think personal relationships with doctors are very
Right.
important because there may be information and it goes out to the masses, but it may not be applicable to you,
Right.
Right.
or your situation. So, I mean, for me, I would take the advice of my doctor. For
Right.
instance, as I was saying to you before, the whole iron issue.
Right,
that I have.
right.
Oh yeah, it's so fancy and fabulous to be a vegan, but I guess I can't really do it.
Yeah.
Even though, it's the sexy thing and everybody's doing it right now. And I mean, I do feel really great when I eat that way in the beginning, but then I guess, in the long run, it doesn't really work out for me. So
Right.
I think that having a good relationship
That's the
with
key,
your
though, right?
clients and telling them that, self-worth, self-care,
Right.
it's very important.
But you have to have that
That rapport.
patient, physician, doctor bond or relationship, which is so important. And my father was a physician, and I grew up seeing him having these bonds with patients for 30, 40 years. So that's what I'm sure both of us love as physicians, but as we
Right.
all know, medicine has changed dramatically, and a lot of that's the time that you have. So you have time to treat the disease, but you don't necessarily have time for talking about prevention. And food is prevention, or lifestyle is prevention. That actually is what I think it's a struggle for both of us, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I do believe food is medicine,
Yes,
to be honest
definitely.
with you. And I don't think people really understand that.
No.
You know?
Because they ask me, how do I treat my high blood pressure? I say, stop eating salt. And you don't have a pill for that? No, that's
that's
literally,
the issue. Right.
literally it.
And that should be
Losing
like
some
the
weight.
last resort, the pill thing.
Of course.
But yet, like you said, I mean, look, commercials. I mean, they tell you could take a pill for anything.
Right,
so
right.
people, and that's the easy way out.
Right, so you're
And that's
competing.
human nature, right? Is
But
easy way out.
What
right?
about cutting back on salt? See, I think the problem is this
Well,
all or nothing
oh, no,
mentality.
yeah, when I mean
we
no,
live
I
in a
mean,
gluttonous
yeah, of course,
society,
yeah.
Why in
so nobody
moderation?
can cut off.
Right.
Nobody can completely
Right.
cut off something. So why can't it be about making
Right.
choices?
Or don't add salt to your food. If
Right,
food already
exactly.
has salt in it.
Just like a lot of food has sugar already. You know,
Yeah.
fruit has a ton of
Oh, it
sugar.
so does.
So if you have natural sugar, great. But why add sugar on top of that? You know, that's also something that I talk about patients all the time. You do more primary care than I do, but I'm sure you have these lifestyle choices. But like you're right, a lot of people just say, "Isn't there a pill for this? Isn't there a pill for that?"
That's
and
what
this is
people are
very
being-
prevalent. You know, you have to be realistic. This is very prevalent. I think having you as an author writing a book, us trying to give information out there, whoever can educate, that lifestyle changes can make a big difference. We know that even things like diabetes can be reversed. People can come off
100%.
medications if you lose weight, insulin resistance, if you change your diet, exercise, more lean muscle mass. So we're big advocates of it, and that's something we're hoping to continue to advocate for.
I think that a lot. I think that a lot of people associate doctors and these types of this information with like bad news or the downer, or he's going to tell me what I can't do, what I have to stop.
Correct, yeah.
I feel like if there's a conversation as far as, okay, how can we
Do this
make this
together,
better?
right.
But what can we do? Like, everything should be negotiable.
Right.
What can you do? Like, what can you give up on? What do you have to have? What's an absolute necessity?
Right.
Can't you like spread stuff out?
Right,
Like,
right.
for me, I know on the weekends is when I look forward to having a couple of cocktails or wine or whatever. So I know during the week it's not going to happen. So I look forward to it then. I love to watch sports on the weekends. I really love college sports. So I know that like Saturday I'm going to have, if I want it, whatever, chips and dip or guacamole or something.
Ooh, guacamole.
I know, right? So I know that's going to happen, and maybe I'm going to make a margarita, or, that kind of thing. So I look forward to that.
Right.
So I kind of lean it out during the week.
Right.
I try, so therefore it's not out of my life. I'm not in a constant battle with the,
Right.
oh no, you can't have it, oh you can't have it.
Everything's
But I'm going to
perspective.
defer to something else. I'm just going to try to be a little bit mindful.
Right.
But knowing that it's not a forever thing, it's not out of my life completely.
Because we know that. Because if you tell patients it's an all or none, if you say there's no way they're going to stick with it, right? So it's just not possible.
No
if you say
way.
give up all sugar, give up all imbibing on the weekends or on social events, there's no way it's going to
I
happen.
think if people identified what they really, their top of their list, like what they really, really like.
Yes.
Like I'll say to people, there's this French restaurant that I really like and they have really great bread. So when I go there, it's like, I know
You
when I'm
have to,
going there,
right.
I'm just going to eat the bread. But every place else I don't.
Right.
Pass on the rolls or
Exactly.
whatever.
I don't even get involved in it. But this is just this one place. I'm just going to have it. So I'm okay with it.
What's your
Or
most
French fries. I
Right.
know this place, they have great French fries. So I'm just going to have them because I just do it. I'm going to survive and I'll be fine tomorrow. But then I'm not going to wake up in the morning and have a Danish or whatever. I mean, I don't eat that anyway, but whatever. It's a negotiation. Everything's a negotiation, is it
Yeah.
not?
I think we're in a unique situation where before our time probably the doctor's role was dictating treatment to the patients. Now the Titus Shift where the patient is educated, they have access to information.
they're more informed.
They're
right?
more
So-
informed,
right.
so
Or at least they think they are.
they think they are, but doctors have been late to the party as far as shifting the education part of it.
Because for a long time it was just like doctor knows best. It's like in the old days, father
Yeah.
knows best. Doctors
Right.
know best, and that's it. And then patients said, "Hey, there's got to be other ways." But because a lot of times physicians were kind of talking down to patients, they said, "Well, we'll look to the internet, we'll look to other sites," and that becomes very difficult now. So, I think there needs to be a shift of just kind of talking with a patient, not at the patient.
And I think that that's the benefit, really,
Right.
of the human doctor versus the
Relationship,
internet,
yeah.
is the relationship. The internet will never replace the relationship. People need to understand that.
Yeah.
There's a practice of medicine, the art of medicine. So that's something that we hope to continue to do here, right? So,
Wow.
you like that?
Yeah, I like it. It
By the way,
sounds-
you were talking about cheat foods. I have to ask, what is your cheat food or number one food you would say is your gluttony food? Or
Number one.
is there number one, two, and
Top-
three?
top
Ju-
10.
Just top one. Everyone's got that one thing they can't live
What's
without.
yours?
Straight up pizza.
Doesn't it change
Pizza?
at different part times of your life? or
Pizza
It
is
does.
mine.
for
Pizza
me?
has been
It
mine
does.
since
Thank
I was a
you.
kid. It doesn't matter. I can have pizza for breakfast,
Mine used
lunch,
to be
and dinner.
burgers, and I haven't had a burger in probably a few months.
Not even like a veggie burger.
Veggie burger.
Beyond
I eat
Meat.
Why
more
haven't you
veggie
had a
burger.
burger in a few months?
We talked about the global impact on beef.
Oh, yes, I'm
and
right there
just-
with you. I think about
25%
it
of
as
greenhouse
well.
gases coming out the rear end of a
Right,
cow.
and I've always
Isn't that amazing?
wanted to eat
Incredible.
less meat, and that was just like the
Yeah,
last
I'm like that
straw.
too. Well, that's why I'm
So,
kind of really conflicted. Yeah, I feel like a burger is such a huge commitment.
It is.
It's just so huge.
That's right.
it
You know,
is.
it's like
It's not like a macaroon. You can try it and move on.
Oh,
You know.
very
But the
nice.
idea of eating it is really good, but once you eat it, it's like
No, it's too much, and then like
And it
digestion.
stays with you for quite
it's
some
just,
time.
it's really, it is a big commitment.
Right.
It is,
Yeah.
really is. So I think that things change with me, but so
Mm-hmm.
definitely I like French fries.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I do, but it not from anywhere. Like
best
I'm,
French fries
I'm
in the
like
city
a
is
little
where?
picky. Oh, I can't say. I mean, no, honestly, because there are a lot of places that do good French fries.
Gotcha,
But
okay.
it's not like if I'm near a McDonald's, I'm going to get French fries. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's certain places. My life is very limited.
Right.
You know, because I always have to be someplace at a certain time.
Constrained
so if
by
I'm going
time,
out to
right.
dinner and I'm like a French bistro, like type of those type of French fries,
So
like
frites,
steak
maybe.
frite, or
Steak
like
frite,
or
yeah.
like or moule frite. Like
I love
mussels.
mussels and
Okay,
yes.
like that's insane. Like I'm not passing that up, that kind of thing. So I love that. I love a margarita. I like wine. Tequila is a very good friend of mine.
I love tequila.
Oh,
I
you got
do
me. You
too.
got me tequila as a
But
house
I
warming
don't do
gift. Yeah.
shots or anything like that. But
Those
just
days are
like
behind
really
me,
nice,
for
clean
sure.
tequila is a lovely thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like with pizza.
Oh,
if
no.
it's really good,
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, we were in Italy, in the end of the summer. It was fabulous. I love the pizza.
Right.
I really like anything that's good. If it's good, I like it.
But even when you talk about pizza, I mean, if you go to Italy, it's not just a heap of cheese and
No,
meat.
see,
It's
I
all
don't
the
like
beautiful
any of that.
vegetables on top.
That's what I mean.
The beautiful
That is
sauce and just a
amazing.
little fresh mozzarella.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's
Incredible,
amazing.
right.
So that's like, that I appreciate.
Right, right.
Anything that's, I don't know. I like,
For me, it's mojitos.
mojitos.
Oh, I love
He
mojito.
swears he can make a better mojito than me.
I can Well, you have to come over sometime, and
you
maybe you can be the
fresh
judge.
wine.
You have
I'm
to come
not
over
a
and be
big
the
rum
judge.
drinker, but mojitos
No.
are nice.
Try mine. I make my own simple syrup.
Uh,
I grow mint in my backyard.
Well, that's really
Oh,
difficult to
all
make
right
simple
now.
syrup. It's like, yeah.
Well, for someone like me
It's
who's so
like
much
water and
talent,
ice sugar,
I think
yeah,
we've
it's difficult.
established
Well, this
so
is
much
the guy
talent.
who calls the
He
Geek
went to
Squad to put
culinary
up a
school for
TV.
the simple sugar
For simple
recipe.
syrup, yeah, I didn't get past the first day of simple syrup. But I do make my own mint, and I muddle my mint myself. So.
That's good. Actually, I would love, yes.
You have to
That's
come
a
over.
kind of a summertime thing, though. You drink
Is,
it all year.
no, wintertime, I think I'm a craft beer guy, so it's kind of I go to craft beer. Some of the dark, yes.
Okay,
so
well,
that's
this
me.
is your season
Yeah,
right
it
now,
is
the
true.
harvest.
Oktoberfest.
Yes, 100%.
What about you?
As far as drinks?
No, as far as food, number one cheat food.
Well, I said burgers, but now it's
Or
not
okay, then a
burgers
drink then. How
anymore.
about then?
Drink?
Yeah, I feel really guilty because you did ask me about cheap food, and we said food, and I named 4 alcohols.
Tequila currently, but
Like
I
the
have
tequila
a
you brought to my
whole-
house for you
Yeah,
brought for a housewarming
yeah,
gift,
Casamigos, that's good.
Oh, Casamigos.
Yeah.
Have you had Casa Dragones?
No.
Oh, okay.
I like mezcal too.
Mezcal.
Oh, I like
was gonna
mezcal
mention
too.
that. That's right.
Yeah.
I had some mezcal on
But those you
Friday.
sip very
No, you
slowly.
do
You
Yeah?
can make a mojito. We
No,
do it
you
any-
can-
any
do
way
it with
with
that,
it.
You can put just a little bit of it in a drink. You can make a margarita out of that. It's a
Ah.
wintertime thing. It's smoke.
It's like smoky.
It's very
Right,
it's
that's right.
husky.
Husky,
It has
right.
it's kind of like a whiskey.
I was gonna say, almost like a
scotchy
whiskey
kind of
that's in a-
thing.
in a
Yes. It's a
well-aged
smoke thing.
whiskey,
It's a
yeah.
fireplace kind of experience.
Ah, fireplace.
But for me, that it's seasonal. Like everything changes.
It's seasonal,
Like,
I'm
I
like
like
that too.
cognac. A few months now. I like
Oh, yeah, that's
Cognac.
like
yeah,
heavy
of
hitting
course.
for
My
me.
goodness.
With the pinky up in the air.
Cavassier.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or
look
douce
at
is
this.
good. Yeah.
I do the same with my tea
You
though, because
guys
I
are
have
hilarious.
we
We'll
have
take the
very
show on the
interest-
road.
We
I
should.
think
we
so.
did.
I think so. I think
We
so.
don't want to keep you long. We just have a few
Rapid fire questions.
random
Lord,
questions.
okay.
Oh boy, all right. So how about this? I'll start off. Funniest mishap you've seen on the air. I think we have to ask.
I've seen
I
some
mean, we
bloopers,
do
not
live-
of you, but like.
But what
no,
you've
it's
seen,
fine.
someone falling out of the chair, anything.
Any
What's the
stories?
funniest thing you could tell us you've seen on the air?
Oh my goodness. You mean personally or
Like
on
in the
anybody?
I would say in the studio. How about that? Or can you say? Or can you recall?
Well, it's online. You
Oh,
can
it's
find it.
on air. Oh, okay. Well, we had a butt shot.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we
Dare I
had,
ask who?
this was a few years ago, and a floor director So they come in, floor directors, and then they're stagehands. So this is actually a stagehand. And he didn't realize we were on camera, and he was coming in to get our garbage cans to empty them because they're full of scripts.
Yeah.
And so he walked over and bent over.
And kind of like the
And yes, and we were
crack
on air, and it
kind
was
of guy.
hilarious. And he was this big,
Crack is whack, as they
huge
say.
guy, and it was precious.
That is funny.
Yes, so we had a little butt cracky crack on the
I'll have a
air.
look on that online.
That was
later.
really precious, and he was a lovely man, and he didn't know it. It was hilarious.
If you were to go to medical school, what kind of doctor do you think you would be?
Oh, I love
see
that.
Yeah.
I came up with that one myself.
Oh, okay, super cool. If I were, you know what? I think this would break my heart. It would kill me, but I would be a pediatrician because I love
Yeah.
kids.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I love kids.
But usually they're not in the best condition. You know, they're sick when you see them. So
I know, that's
because I
terrible, and they're the
originally
worst
wanted to do
personality.
pediatrics too, and it was
Yeah,
just like,
well,
So
I
much
think
respect
it's
for
so
pediatricians.
sad,
It's the kids and it's the parents.
Okay, so then maybe
Yeah.
I would be a neurologist because I find the brain to be
Yeah,
absolutely
okay.
fascinating.
good.
Excellent. All right, so people are, they always get, even before coming here, I was seeing patients this morning and I was running late because it just takes one patient to make you late, and then of course other patients will grumble. So what would you say is too long to wait at a physician's office? Would you, a lot of people say, oh,
When
I
would
go
you
to my
get up and
doctor.
leave?
And when you just say, forget it, I'm out of here. He must be playing golf, I'm out of here. So
Oh my goodness, that's very interesting. Well, I mean, I would condition that because I'd say, what type of doctor is it? What is the need? Or are you saying like,
Like a regular doctor. Because when
whatever's, it's something important for you, so you're there to, whatever it might be.
too long to wait?
yeah.
Probably 45 minutes and
that's a
then I'm out.
long wait.
Yeah.
I don't think I make
People
good patients.
complain when they wait 10 minutes from me.
Okay,
No, I
but
was
the
running
thing is,
15
it
minutes
really
late today,
depends. I mean,
yeah.
for me to go to the doctor is like I guess I really kind of need to go.
Yeah.
I don't get involved with doctors that much.
Okay, right.
Thanks.
No, because I really, no, it's not that. It's just that like I don't want to. I don't, and I'm not. I mean, I'm just, I don't know. I just don't get involved with doctors that much. I feel like I try to manage things at home.
Right.
With being,
So if you're
healthy.
going, it's something
And I guess I'm
pressing.
fortunate enough that
Sure.
I don't really have to get involved with doctors that much. So if I'm at a doctor's office, I kind of have to be
It's
there.
pressing, right.
So I guess then I have to be there. So then I have to wait 45 minutes. If not, I'm out.
And leaving
That's
it-
a long time to me.
No, it is. I mean,
but it's a big deal. I don't know how.
No, I know. We live doctors, ourselves included, have certain hours of the week, days of the week we do late office hours. Because we understand that people can't take time off of jobs and they can't, they have their own things going on. So Thursdays are my late day to stay, so people can go after work and not have to miss work to see me. So, but 45 minutes is very generous.
I mean, I think it's a mindset. I mean, I have a phone, for God's sakes. You know how many things I could do?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
literally. I mean, I've allotted that. You just can't really go anywhere unless you do have that window. And if you have to leave, you have to leave.
It can't be worse than a DMV though, right?
Yeah. See, that's a whole
DMV,
big
45-minute
thing.
wait, you're lucky.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's a good day.
that's a good day.
You have to be strategic
Yeah.
about that.
We have
Any
to
other
save-
questions,
I
or-
think, how about you? Anything else you got?
I'm good.
No. We want to thank you so much for coming on
so
today. This
happy
was
to-
so much fun. We know how
Yeah.
busy you are, but
No.
I
This
really
is
feel in this
fantastic.
time we talked about a lot of things. We got to know you. Everyone else listening out there got to know you so much better. And plus talking about health, and it's really been a lot of fun. We really appreciate it.
No, I'm happy. You guys are great. Fun. You're some of our favorite docs.
We want to let our listeners know where to pick up the quick and clean diet.
Oh, yes. Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
You have a website or
I don't have a
Instagram
website.
or
Instagram, Dari.Alexander.
Okay.
Or Dari Alexander, just straight up. And same with Twitter. I've sort of, I'm not that great about Instagramming and social media stuff because I kind of took a little bit of a break in the Facebook just because it got a little crazy.
I didn't know Facebook is like
It
the MySpace of
Is it the MySpace?
2020.
Wait, MySpace is no longer a thing now?
I don't know.
Is that why no one comments on my MySpace page?
Your MySpace.
I think that went out like in 2003. or
Oh
something.
dear, that's why no one responds to when I post on there. Man, okay, I gotta figure that out.
That went out with like black and white TVs.
Oh.
Yes.
It's better on my eyes as I get older. My eyes can't adjust. So.
Oh my goodness.
Remember the music used to come on when you go to the page? That was cute.
That was cute.
All right.
All right. So until next time, make sure you find us, listen to us, recommend Daily Dose. I'm your co-host, Dr. Suraj Saggar.
Dr. Clenton Coleman, thank you for joining us.
I think next time we'll be back in sunny New
We'll
Jersey.
be back in Jersey.
Back in Jersey.
Jersey.
So
The weather's nicer there.
Is it?
I'll take your word for it. I
Sure.
don't think so. I think we enjoy
At least
being in New
you're
York.
brass.
I think we have to take
Like
the show on the
getting out of
road.
the
Keep taking the show on the
state
road.
for once, yeah.
Until next time, be well.
Check out recent episodes and learn more about these two modern medicine men and their podcast at holyname.org/recommended daily dose.